Hey guys, how's everybody doing? It's Taylor from the Southern Stitcher. I am back for another video. It's been a really long time since I've actually talked to you guys. Life gets in the way and everything like that, but I am back. Hopefully, I'll actually update you guys more often, but we'll see. So I just wanted to hop on here and give you guys an update of my stitching. I have a couple finishes, more whips than I can even count, honestly. I probably have some that I won't show you just because I don't know where they're at. I'll randomly think about it and like, oh hey, I need to find that and stitch on it, but story of my life. So as you can see, I have my Christmas decoration up. I know it's only November 14th, but that's the only year, or the only time of year I actually decorate for. So I figured why not? Why not put it up? There's still a lot that needs to go up, but it's a process, slowly but surely. Anyways, so today I wanted to show you some of my whips, a couple of my finishes, and hopefully this video won't be too long, but if it is, thanks for sticking with me, and sorry for my ratchet appearance, but whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my whips, mostly because my finishes are underneath my whips, because that's just how I pulled them out, because most of my finishes I already have up on my wall. There's one that I haven't fully finished just yet because I thought I had enough foam board for it. I don't. I'm about an inch or two too short. And it makes me mad. Anyways, so the first whip I'm going to show you, this is one that I started, I don't even remember how long ago. It is Butterfly Effect by Heaven and Earth Design. I can't remember when I actually started this. It may have been a couple months ago. I have to fully look it up in order to really remember. I've gotten this one. I'm doing cross country, at least the pages, the rows, the page rows, whatever you want to call them. Page rows. But I've gotten I have gotten all of the first color done, which I went ahead and just did the black because, as you can see with her head, most of the hair is black and then dark colors pretty much. So I went ahead and just did all the black, and this is where I'm at. This is done on 28 count. I can't tell you what kind it is. I got it from so-and-so. Just because I have found that I can get their fabric for a really good price, probably because it comes from the UK. Who knows? I don't know. But this fat piece of fabric is huge. I doubt I'm going to use it all. I hope it doesn't turn out that big, just because I have an open floor plan in my living room, but I don't want to hang stuff up that high, because I have vaulted ceilings as well. I just don't want to hang stuff up that high just because I can't really see it because I'm a short person. But yeah, so there she is. I haven't really worked on her much just because I was mostly focusing on finishing my Mirabilia, and I kind of just fell out of love with her. Not out of love, I guess. I got bored. I'm one of those stitchers where I don't have a system that I work on specifically, like a rotation. I work on what calls me and what I feel like it. And she just I haven't really felt like it before. My Elsa, which if you guys have watched a few of my other videos, you know Elsa. Since the last time I saw you guys, Lord, I don't even remember how far along I was on that. But here is Elsa. This one is one of my favorites of all time. This was my very first Heaven and Earth project, I think, pretty sure. And I love it. The only thing I hate about this and wish I would have changed to begin with, but I was still a pretty new stitcher when I started it. I wish I would have changed the Krynic or Krynic. I'm sorry to whoever actually went and asked the owner how you pronounce it, but I'm still gonna call it Krynic just because I'm from the South and we don't pronounce anything right apparently. But anyways, so she is coming along nicely. This is how far I've gotten the entire top part done. And the one part I'm very sad about, and every time I look at it, you know, beginner stitcher mistakes. I used pencil to do my grid lines. Don't do that. I washed this a couple times and they don't come out, which I'm hoping if I put something when I frame it, I'm hoping that when you see it really far away, it won't really matter. But look at that sparkle in that light. Hopefully you can see that. But yeah, so I'm on page 2 of the second row. You guys can see that. I'm doing this one also cross country, but just page by page because when it's stretched and everything's said and done, I personally don't see any line, well, other than right there when it comes to the Krynic. In the actual stitching, I don't see any lines. In the Krynic, I do, probably because I literally have to go row by row with that stuff because it's such a pain in the butt. But that's where she is. She's also one of those ones where I just kind of pick it up when I feel like it, when the mood calls to me. She's a really quick stitch though, for me at least, because she is done 2/1 on 28 count. I guess you would call it a modified 10 stitch. It's more just like half stitches more than anything. That's the same with Butterfly Effect. I'm doing that one as well, 2/1. Half stitches, just because I find that with these projects, I like the minis, I do, but at the same time, I want the full size. That's what I want on my walls, is the full size. But in order to stitch those up quickly, you can't do full crosses. You can't, because trust me, once I show you one of my other heads, which thankfully I only have 3 going. I only have 3 of those. Probably 3 too many, but they'll get done eventually. But anyways, so yeah, when you do the tent stitch or the half stitch, whatever you want to call it, the modified tent stitch, whatever, they seem to stitch up a lot quicker just because you're not having to go back and finish the stitch, the X. So I just like it a little bit more. The next one is my Beauty and the Beast. This one was my very first full coverage piece, so you can't judge me for the stitches. It's not the prettiest thing in the world. I don't have a picture of her, but if you go to my Instagram, which is the Southern Stitcher, on Instagram, you can see, I think I've posted a regular picture of her. Let me see, I think I may have one. I probably should have had this ready whenever I was actually doing it. Whenever I was getting everything ready. But of course, I didn't. So just bear with me for a second. You know, how's it going? How's life? Again, I've been lurking on everybody's Flosstube. My new favorite ones are Priscilla and Chelsea. I love everything they do. I literally could sit and watch them for hours and hours and hours and never get bored. I want Priscilla, I think it is, her house. I'll take it. I want her decorating skills too. She can come to my house and decorate for me one day. That would be fabulous. Oh, here it is. Don't worry, guys, I got it. So this is it. This is my bell piece. It's like really glaring. Oh well, I can't fix it. But I've showed this one a couple times. Maybe that'll be better. Whatever, you just can't see your face. You get the gist. Again, this was my first full coverage piece. I should have just not stitched the background because you see all this black. Yep, that's charted. Wish it wasn't because, you know, newbie stitcher was like, oh, that means I've got to stitch that. So I stitched it to the point where it would look retarded if I ripped it all out, and it was way too much to rip out. So I just had to go with it. And also, I don't have big enough margins for framing, so most likely this is going to be made into a pillow. That's what I'm thinking as of right now. I still have a long way to go on this, but I have made progress on it. So I've gotten the entire, I'm not going to be able to get it in frame. I've gotten the entire, look at this. That's all I left. And I used masking tape to make sure my edges didn't fray. If that doesn't scream newbie, I don't know what does. I've learned, people. I've learned from my mistakes. So I've gotten the entire top row done. Yes, people, that is all stitched in black. It's all black. There we go. There's it all. Looks nice. The one thing that I'm not too excited about is the fact that her hair, I'm excited about it, but at the same time, her hair is red. And everybody knows that Belle is a brunette. But you know, redhead up in here, I'll take it. Whatever. I'll just say that I matched it after myself, even though that's how it was charted. Whatever. But as of right now, I am on this page. I'm working on the beast's face. These little circles, oh my gosh, they're like confetti hell. Confetti hell. There we go. Let's do this. If you can see from my park threads how crazy, how many threads just go into a line, a row. That's literally just a row right there. And that's insane. But if you can tell, hopefully you can't, when you look at this stuff up here. Well, no, it's not so bad on that side. When you look at my stitches, oh, maybe it is. This is where I started. When you look at my stitches, they go every which way. Wait, let me try and just start. I don't know. They go every which way. Now I've learned from my mistakes. All my stitches go the same way. But this is just a learning piece. Basically, I'm going to finish it. I thought about scrapping it for a while, and then I was like, no, I have done way too much on this piece. But this is more of my piece when I don't want to, because this is done on 14 count, I think. It's either 14 or 16. So the X's are really, or the boxes are really easy to see, or the holes, whatever you want to call them. They are really easy to see, so on those days when I just don't feel like looking at some 28 count or looking at whatever count, I just pull that one out and I'm like, you know, when it gets done, it gets done. I'm not worried about it. I really am not. My next one that I've kind of just been, same with my bell piece, I've just kind of worked on it. This is a super easy stitch. I probably should have finished it at this point. But slacker, oh my gosh, my needle is bent. That's awful, like bad. Okay, so you can tell I haven't pulled this out in a while. This is my Harry Potter crest, or one of them. This is Gryffindor. If I sat down and did it, I could get it finished. Somebody's outside screaming. I could get it finished in like no time at all, because again, this one's on 16 count. Ada, it's very stiff, very annoying. That's probably one of the reasons I haven't picked it up very often, is because it is such crap fabric. I mean, nothing against Ada. A lot of people love it. I personally don't love it just because it's very stiff. It's not that much fun to work with. And, you know, the coverage is long. If you have to do like 3 or 4 threads to make the coverage completely full coverage. I'm sorry, I'm sitting on the floor and my feet are asleep. But anyway, so there's Gryffindor. I've got my Slytherin. That's the first one that I finished because I am a Slytherin. I got that one hanging on my wall already. It's been hanging up there probably for about a year now. I don't know. I finished it onto a canvas. I thought about taking it down and refinishing it, but again, newbie. When I finished it the first time, I stapled it on there and then I hot glued ribbon around it, the side. That's not coming off. It's not. It's really not. So maybe in the future I may restitch it and do something else with it or attempt to get it off. But as of right now, I'm really not concerned about it. Okay, so another one. Oh, and those were free patterns I found on, I don't even know where I found them. I think I found it on like Tumblr or something like that. And then I ended up finding it on Pinterest. Run around this place and that. But it's by, let me pull that up. It is by The World in Stitches. All 4 of the crests are free patterns. I think she may even have, or whoever it is, I don't even know if it's a girl. They may have the actual Hogwarts crest. I'm just not sure. I personally haven't found it, or if I did, I wasn't that interested in it. I don't know. Alright, so my next one, if you can't tell by all of this fabric, is another Heaven and Earth design. This one is my Enchanted Seamstress. This one I kind of fell out of love with for a little bit. Just because I started this one, I wanted to try something new. I started this one also on 28 count, which I love. If you can't tell the trend, I love me some 28 count. But I did it 1/1, full crosses. So I kind of fell out of love with it for a little bit because I was like, man, this is taking forever. Forever. So this is it. Enchanted Seamstress. I love the pattern. I love it. It is so pretty. And one day I really hope I can put it on my wall. I don't know what I did. I touched something. But yeah, for a little bit, I just fell out of love with it just because it was taking forever. Because this is the second one that I started. Elsa was my first. This one was my second one, and then Butterfly Effect was my third one. So Elsa was stitching up so quick. I could get through a page so quick. And then this one I was like, this is taking 10,000 years. And it was so boring because, as you can see, the first page, all but like this column, is black. All of it. But this is the first 2 pages and then the start of the bottom page right here. I did this page for a challenge, a Hague challenge, before they stopped because people are people and, you know, they ruined it for everybody. So now the challenges really you don't get a prize, and, you know, it does challenge your stitching, but honestly, I'm not going to pressure myself to get something done in a short amount of time if I'm not going to get a reward at the end. I know that probably sounds really petty of me. Whatever. But here is my Enchanted Seamstress. I think what I've decided to do is I'm going to finish this page right here, which I only have this little bit left. And then I'm going to go down here and I'm going to finish this. And then I'm either going to stitch this page over here or the page below it. below this one, and then do it like in diagonals so that I can get a little bit more variety instead of going across. But yeah, so there's that. The stitches aren't the most beautiful thing. Again, it's 1/1 full crosses on 28 count. Don't know what kind of fabric this is. It's Hobby Lobby. That's all I know. And again, I thought about scrapping it, or I thought about changing the stitches halfway through, and then I was like, no, I'm not going to do that, just because I tried like doing 2/1, because when I put it into the calculator, it wouldn't affect the size of the fabric. Excuse me. It wouldn't affect the size of the fabric and how big I needed it, just because it was still over 1. But, I mean, it got the same effect, but at the same time, I like how the 1/1 looks. It looks so delicate and, you know, really detailed. Well, of course, all Heaven and Earth look detailed, but that one looks really delicate, and I feel like when it's finished, it's going to look like a picture, and it's going to be awesome. Okay, so the next one was a new start that I did a while ago. This one, I bought it off of Etsy. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. I got it from the Primitive Hair, because I had seen that somebody was talking about the one that they did. This one is Red Riding Hood from the Primitive Hair, and I just fell in love with this one just because I love the cloak mostly. And I think it's super simple and super pretty, and then I'm probably planning on doing the rest of them, hopefully. But again, this is one of those ones where it should just be a really quick stitch, but me being me, it's taking forever because I suck. Plus, I'm still in school. I hopefully only have a couple years left. But at the same time, that kind of sounds depressing. So during the school year, I really don't get much stitching time. I kind of neglect my studies in order to stitch, and then I feel bad, and then I go without stitching for a little while, and vice versa. But the semester's almost over, and I'm so excited. Anyway, so here is Red Riding Hood. All of that outline is black, which doesn't bother me because I picked up a cone of the black from Joann's whenever they had a sale like months ago. That thing has lasted me for a really long time. So all the black will be the same color because it's all coming from the same dye lot. It's a really easy stitch because I just go and I do like one leg and then I go back and finish it, so I don't really need to pay much attention. I just haven't brought it out. When you look at it up close, it kind of looks pixelated, but from back here, it's really not bad. It's not terrible. I don't hate it. It's just, you know, it's all one color, so I get bored with it easily, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, whatever. This next one, I have done this one before. I did it for a school project, which I ended up giving it to my professor. So I just decided to redo it. But the fabric that I chose, I hate it. Hate it so much. But I'm gonna push through just because it looked like parchment paper. I'm doing the Spells from Clouds Factory. It is a Harry Potter pattern because if you can't tell the common theme, I'm a Harry Potter person. But there is the Spells. Again, I did this one for my professor a while ago. Probably 2 years ago. Almost 2 years ago. And I just ended up giving it to him. Whoops. Just ended up giving it to him. I was like, here, you know, I don't need it. Should have just kept it. because I'm sure it's probably sitting somewhere where nobody's going to care about it. I changed the colors this time around though, just because I wanted to do more of the house colors more than anything, because this one has like oranges and like grays and stuff like that in it, which is fine. It looks fine. But I decided to change the colors to match the house colors, sort of, mostly. I doubt they actually match, but there's my dog. But here it is. I've decided just to do it page by page instead of row by row, because I did it the first time row by row and it took a really long time. And I had to keep moving the hoop. I probably could put it in a Q-snap now because I do have one that would fit the length. I haven't gotten around to it. I've been busy, people. I've been busy. And last but not least, my last whip is Country Cottage Needleworks, Santa's Village. Everybody knows what this looks like. Go away. Everybody knows what this looks like. I'm hopefully going to get the entire village, but I'm not stitching them all in one piece. I've decided that I'm going to do these like ornaments, because one day I hope to have my own little stitching tree. Every year my aunt gets my entire family, which we're a large family. She gets us all ornaments, specifically for us. Like, my sister gets shoe ornaments. My little sister gets snowman ornaments. I get Santa ornaments. But these things are like Hallmark ornaments. If you've never bought a Hallmark ornament, they are not cheap. They aren't cheap. So I feel bad for just kind of leaving them in a box, because whenever I got my own place, I was like, I'm going to have a decorative tree. I'm not putting those up. So I feel bad for leaving them in a box. So hopefully this year I'm going to get a smaller tree. If not, get a bigger tree for my living room and then just use this one for, you know, like stitching and my ornaments specifically. But anyways, rambling. But anyways, so she gets those every year. So I think I'm going to stitch these into ornaments and hang them. Probably gonna see if I can find like a candy cane border or something like that. This is actually stitched on a piece of fabric that I gave up one of my other patterns because I didn't like how it was turning out. I was doing the Beauty and the Beast do knee stitch, something like that. I don't know. Y'all know what they look like. They're the stained glass ones with the little people. Super cute, adorable, but I just wasn't in love with it. Here, I'll show you. I was doing it 1/1, and it was looking really pretty. I just wasn't loving it. I wasn't feeling it. So I think I'm gonna get a new piece of fabric, stitch it 2/2, probably get some white fabric or something like that, because this is kind of a creamy color. Anyways, so here's my Santa's Village. You can't see it that well just because I decided for the snowflakes I was going to use the DMC Light Effects, which I think they're really pretty in the light. You can see them like that. I was really anxious to start this, so I don't have all the threads for it. This is probably all I can do. I got the border and the smoke and some of the snowflakes done, but I was really impatient and I just really wanted to start it, and I didn't care if I had all the floss or not. Which my Joann's close to me was closing, and I was like, oh hey, I'll go in there and get a whole bunch. They didn't have all the DMC colors, but I got about 60 of them. And I already had probably, I don't even know how many, you know, all those for the Heaven and Earth and stuff, but I feel bad picking those out. I do it every now and then if I'm going to put it right back in so I don't forget about it, so I don't lose it. But anyways, so of all those colors that I picked, I literally did not have the colors needed for that project. It calls for like 6 colors and I didn't have them. Depressing. Anyways, so I'm probably gonna get those threads Friday, if not sooner. I'm still debating on whether I want to get the fancy floss that goes along with it. It is hazelnut from Classic Colorworks. Yeah, hazelnut, which is it's the house itself. So I'm still trying to decide if I want to get that or not, because it is $3 plus shipping. Which maybe I found out that there is a local needlework shop like 2 hours away from me in Gatlinburg that I didn't even know about until another Flosstuber said something about it, that she lives in North Carolina. Mischievous Stitches, that's who it was. She lives out that way, and she said they actually just had a retreat. Whatever. Nobody invited me. Jeez. Okay, so enough of my rambling. Again, let's show you my finishes since the last time you saw me. I don't know if you guys have seen this one or not. If you have, I'm sorry. If you haven't, it's awesome. If you have, you're going to see it again just because I love it. This is another Harry Potter one. That's what, 3 now? At least. This is Alohomora. I can't remember who it's by. Somebody on Etsy. They have like 4 more of these that I'm hopefully going to buy in the near future. This is just a dollar store frame. I may actually reframe this because I think I framed it with like cardboard or something, which over time I'm afraid it'll ruin it. So I'm probably going to reframe it, if not just remat it. But those are sparkles. I don't know if you can tell. Those are DMC cups, light effects or something like that, whatever they're called. And I love it. It hangs in my living room. No shame. I don't care if somebody comes over and they're like, oh my God, you're 22 years old. Why the heck do you have Harry Potter in your house? Because we are a Harry Potter household, much to my fiance's dismay. So, another finish that I just recently finished actually was my Blackwork Hummingbird. If you've seen this video before, or not this video specifically, or if you've been to my channel before, you know I've already finished this once. Or if you are on my Instagram, you know you have seen that I've already finished this once. I finished it and gave it to my mom. And then I was like, I want one for myself. So I actually started this. Overall, this only took me about a week to finish. I finished the hummingbird and then I just put it down because I was like, I don't feel like doing the black work. So I just put it down. And then I finished it the other day. I've already got the frame, but again, like I said at the beginning of this video, I thought I had enough foam board. I didn't. Sad day. And last but not least, my favorite finish that I have ever done so far, my Mirabilia. Yay! She is finished. I love her. This is a thrift store frame that I found at Goodwill or something like that. And I painted it, which it probably needs another coat, and or I think I'm going to stain it, make it kind of look antique. Haven't decided yet. But yeah, I love her. I love her. She is done with all the called for threads, all the called for beads. I don't think this is the called for fabric, just because it never came in. So a lovely stitcher sent me a piece of fabric because the one that I had ordered was on back order. She is, funny story. I was going to frame her with glass, but then I broke the glass. Oops. I had accidentally popped it out and I was trying to put it back in and it wouldn't go back in. I pressed too hard and I broke it in two. Whoops. So she doesn't have any glass on her, but she does have some batting behind her, so it makes her kind of come out a little bit. So she looks like, I guess, like a frame pillow, pretty much. Stop, go away. My dog is crying at me, and but yeah, so she's finished. She took about a year and a half. A year and a few months. I wouldn't say exactly a year and a half because I started her in July or September and I finished her in October, I believe. Well, fully finished her, I believe, in October. I think I finished her in September. But she's done now. Now I need to do I have the Royal Games pattern. I just need to get all of the stuff for it, and then I'm going to start that. Plans-wise, I really have no plans other than to get the rest of those country cottage. I want to, again, finish those. I'm hoping just to finish at least that one before Christmas. I don't have a sewing machine, so I may see if my aunt will let me borrow hers, because pretty much all of my aunts have one, or my cousin, somebody. But that's all I have for you guys. I'm sorry it's been such a long time, and thank you for sitting with me for about almost 40 minutes and talking about all of my stitching. I hope you guys have a great day, and hopefully my next update won't be so far away. Thanks, guys. Have a good day. Bye.